the AWS server crash causes $2,000 smart beds to overheat and get stuck upright. So apparently there was like an Amazon web server outage that caused like a whole bunch of shit to not work for a few days. And people who had smart beds, which are apparently beds that rely on AWS, their beds either overheated or were stuck in upright positions because the servers were down. And my brain was just like, why the fuck would you ever buy a smart bed? Like, of all the things in your house that I would not want to buy as a smart appliance, the bed would be like number fucking 1. Maybe number 2. I wouldn't want a smart toilet. There'd be like, smart toilet number 1, don't buy. Smart bed number 2, don't buy. All right, okay? Like, I want my bed dumb. AWS outage has impacted some of our users since last night, disrupting their sleep. This is not the experience we want to provide, and I want to apologize for it. Would be great if my bed wasn't stuck in an inclined position due to the AWS outage. Come on now. That's so fucking funny. That's so fucking funny, man. Why would you buy a smart bed? USDA says it can't use emergency funds for food stamps. So, this government shutdown that's going on, and I mean, keep it shut the fuck down. Let's keep going and see how much happens. I think it's very interesting that the Democrats are holding it hostage because they want to give healthcare to illegal immigrants, and Republicans actually doing something correct for once, not giving in and just letting the government shutdown take its course. And it makes me wonder, was this all part of the plan? Are they expecting one of us in the wreckage, brother? Because if they shut off food stamps, and these videos are a very, very good picture of it, there are a lot of people who are gonna get really fucking mad. And I will feel bad for the people who like actually do need and rely on them and get like a very small stipend to be able to buy the necessities to live. But there's a lot of people who abuse food stamps and probably shouldn't be on them. And if you're a person making TikToks threatening people, threatening to start stealing because your free shit is gonna get shut off, you're probably not someone who needs or should even have that kind of thing in the first place. So it's very interesting to me that it seemed to be like a hostage situation almost, where it's like, you give us our free shit and we don't burn down your towns. And it's like, well, we shouldn't have to bribe you. That should just be the default state. It should be the default state to not burn down my town, actually. The Agriculture Department says it can't use contingency funds to pay for food stamps during the government shutdown, and that states won't be reimbursed if they cover the expenses on their own, according to a new memo obtained by Axios. That's also fucking wild. So any of these states that are just like, oh, we're just gonna cover the food stamps with like state taxpayer funds, federal funds aren't going to reimburse that. Oh, if that does not make some people switch from voting blue to red, I do not know what will. Congressmen and senators are still getting paid on the shutdown. Shouldn't those politicians stop being paid so that money can be used for food stamps? First of all, no. Second of all, they should stop being paid, but that money shouldn't be diverted like elsewhere to that. The SNAP freeze could kick in as an increasing number of Americans are going hungry and relying on food banks as the economy cools. Oh. Man, like every single time I read an article that's supposed to like tug at our heartstrings, I just think of like, you know, I could have used help at certain points in my life. Senate Democrats essentially shut down the government, at least they're being honest, by demanding that the Republicans who control Congress extend Affordable Care Act subsidies. Without the subsidies, healthcare costs could soar for 22 million Americans on ACA plans. I gave them too much credit. They were halfway honest. They were halfway honest by saying it was the Democrats that shut it down, but not why. Now the shutdown could pit the needs of those 22 million ACA enrollees against those of the 42 million who could go without food assistance starting November 1st. Imagine. The SNAP program has contingency funds that could cover about 2/3 of the shortfall, which Democrats and liberal-leaning groups are calling on the administration to tap. But the USDA issued a one-page memo Friday saying the fund is only for true emergencies like hurricanes, tornadoes, and floods that can come on quickly and without notice. For example, Hurricane Melissa is currently swirling in the Caribbean and could reach Florida, the memo says. Having funds readily available allows the USDA to mobilize quickly in the days and weeks following a disaster. There is no provision or allowance under current law for states to cover the cost of benefits and be reimbursed. How about a one-word memo? No. Yeah. It's like I have lost the ability to feel bad because we need an overhaul of a lot of our like welfare systems. because of the extent of the abuse that has been perpetrated against this for so long. And it's like, I want people who genuinely need this stuff to be able to have access to it. But I am so fucking sick of people like my mother abusing these systems meant to be temporary assistance for people who need it. Friday's guidance from the Agriculture Department is the latest salvo in a string of memos and legal opinions designed to pressure Democrats into approving a clean CR or continuing resolution to fund the government. President Trump has used guidance from the White House's Office of Management and Budget, or the OMB, to move money around to pay military expenses and cover a SNAP-related program for 6.7 million people, known as WIC, which stands for Women, Infants, and Children. So there are a contingency of people who are still going to be getting their SNAP benefits. And it makes sense if it's targeted specifically to women and children. However, my mother does fall into that category where she would obviously claim, 2 children and needing to spend money on food for those 2 children. But we would not see any of that food, so... WIC is mostly for certain core items and baby stuff. Most stores specify it on the shelf label. Interesting. See the stickers for it next to the prices on grocery shelves. I've never noticed it. The liberal group Center for American Progress released an analysis Thursday that argued Trump has a legal obligation to continue funding SNAP and accused him of cruelty. You see, when all they do is try to emotionally manipulate us, this is how you start losing empathy rapidly. Because empathy is not an infinite wellspring. There is a finite amount of empathy you can have for people before you become incredibly exhausted and jaded. And it's not cruelty. And much like the tariffs are very painful in the short term, but should pay off, sometimes you have to break a few eggs to make an omelet. Sometimes there's going to be a little bit of pain before things get better. Do I like the tariffs? No, I don't like having to pay extra on things that I import, but I understand it's a temporary measure. It's a temporary thing that's not going to have the inflated price for fucking ever, which is what we're figuring out. We're figuring out how to not get taken advantage of on trade anymore. From terminating funding used to purchase food for schools and food banks to passing the largest cuts in SNAP history, the administration has made it clear that its goal is to take food away from hungry families. And that sentiment is extending to the USDA's approach to the shutdown, it wrote. I don't think that's what it's trying to do at all. Like, if I really wanted to get a bit tinfoily, I would be like, the reason they're not playing ball is not simply because they don't wish to give healthcare benefits to illegals, which they shouldn't, but if SNAP gets cut off, we get to see all of the fun videos of people who shouldn't be on SNAP airing their dirty laundry. And the more people see the kinds of people who abuse SNAP benefits, the angrier they should get that their tax dollars are being misappropriated to people who just don't want to work. The group said that Trump should move money around the budget to pay for SNAP just as he did with WIC, but the USDA OMB said that more transfers to WIC will be needed. The administration will not allow Democrats to jeopardize funding for school meals and infant formula in order to prolong their shutdown, the USDA memo said. And I say, keep it shut down. Keep it shut down, brother. But we have a bunch of videos here.
Donald motherfucking Orange Man J. Trump. I'm gonna tell you just like this. What the fuck you mean?
I was not ready for that. I was not ready for that intro.
Who ain't getting that goddamn food stamps to goddamn November? Cause I'm getting my goddamn shit. I don't know about the rest of you motherfuckers, but I'm getting my shit. Cause I'm gonna tell you just like this on Jesus Lamar motherfucking Christ.
I don't think Jesus's middle name was Lamar. I haven't read the Bible in a while, but I'm pretty sure that's not his middle name.
I will be at motherfucking Walmart with my steel toes on and my motherfucking helmet, and I dare a bitch try to stop me from walking out that motherfucking store with my groceries.
I mean, it's a Walmart. I don't think you're gonna really need a helmet or steel toe boots. They're just gonna let you walk out. I don't know where she lives, but like in California, don't they just like let people walk out if it's under $600 even? Like, she could probably do with a month off of eating.
Baby, I'm 250 pounds solid. Baby, you want to see a human motherfucking bulldozer, baby? Because that's what the fuck I'm going to turn into. If you think you going to stop me from leaving out that goddamn store with my motherfucking monthly groceries that I get every goddamn month, I ain't bothering no goddamn body, okay? Why the fuck is y'all bothering me and my goddamn food?
This is actually kind of funny. I really hope this is like a parody. I really hope by the way she's saying things that she's trying to be comedic, because it is kind of funny. You can't tell if it's satire, right? It doesn't have a community note, but you know, energy probably comes in handy with a job. Walmart loss prevention will just let you steal if you seem like a serious threat, but will report to authorities who will also probably do nothing, let's be real.
Y'all better lock y'all cars at night, lock your cars, lock your house up.
Hide your kids, hide your wife.
If you're one of them people that just leave your car unlocked, parked in your driveway, you better lock it. With the food stamps being gone and people not gonna have people gonna eat, okay? Nobody's just gonna, this is 2025, nobody's just not gonna eat, food stamps, I'm telling you right now, even with the government shutdown and the food stamps and stuff being gone for next month, and it's gonna affect everybody, there's about to be a lot of stuff going on, okay? I'm not even going to talk about it too much because, hey, you know what's about to happen. Lock your cars. Lock them. Y'all better...
That's a weird thing. Why would we have to lock our cars? I thought you're angry about groceries. There's no groceries in the cars. Uh-oh.
This is going to be a thing. People are going to start, instead of stealing groceries from the stores, they're going to start watching people go to their cars. And they're going to take all of their groceries. And you know what the store going to do?
Nothing.
Not our problem. Not our business. It's outside the store. They didn't do it in the store. It's not our property. Call 911. Call the authorities. Make a report. They gonna leave your ass for dead. And people are...
Why is she saying this like this isn't already what's been happening? Like, yeah... This is already the reality we live in. The police don't do shit. The DAs release the criminals. Like, what? This isn't a threat if it's already reality, man.
Really gonna be stealing people carts of groceries out of the grocery parking lot. I'm telling you. It seems like it's headed that way. Now, what other choices are people gonna have? To find...
Yeah, let us steal your stuff, or we'll steal your stuff. It's like, it's the same. It's the same either way.
Food to eat. Because people about to be out here struggling. They about to be out here bad. So do you really think they're going to look at you with all these groceries, packing it in your car, you know, about to go home and feed your family from the, you know, hard-earned money that you made?
Why is she making that face? This is weird. Like pot of greed face.
From working your job that afforded you the affordability to buy those groceries. They ain't gonna give a fuck. They ain't gonna care. They gonna snatch them bags up out your hand and be like, I wish you would.
Again, that's already been happening. Where has she been during all the times where like, what do you mean you would shoot someone who breaks into your house? Do you really value your possessions more than their life? And it's like, well, yes. And clearly they did too. What do you mean?
And some just might lose their for it. And it ain't worth it.
What a weird video. What an out of touch of reality video. We have another one here. Food stamp recipients are vowing to steal when SNAP benefits expire.
You know what? Since they want to take food stamps away, I'm going to fucking Walmart. I'm going to rack up any damn Walmart, throw that shit right in the basket. I'm coming right about that bitch. Move, get the fuck out of my way. I'm not paying for a damn thing. Y'all got me fucked up. I ain't getting a food stamp on EBT. Oh, watch this. Watch this. I'm about to, it's about to be some bullshit. It about to be some shit. I'm about to go in that bitch masked up, you hear me? Masked up, racking every damn thing up off the damn shelf, throwing that shit in a basket, walking clean about there. Well, I got me fucked up.
I'm glad he put a fucking basket emoji, you know, just to help me understand what's going on here, cause what the fuck?
Boy, it's about to be Thanksgiving, you hear me? And Christmas coming up, and y'all gonna take away nigga
fucking
EBT?
Chris.
Oh nah, y'all got the game really fucked up. Y'all got the game fucked all the way up, son. Believe it. Watch this. Y'all think I'm playing? Watch this, you heard me? Watch this. Watch what I do. Watch what I do. Watch what I do. I'm gonna go in that Walmart with a basket, and I'm gonna rack all kind of shit. I'm gonna throw this shit on the basket. I'm gonna walk right about that bitch. Put this in the car. Phew, I'm out of there. I'm out of there. Gone. I'm out of there. You know what?
Why even record yourself saying this, I guess, is my question. Shouldn't we be seeing an equal distribution of the people making these videos? I mean, a woman posts a video getting over $4,000 in food stamps, bragging about how to work the system.
For those of you laughing because I'm on welfare, I just want to show you something real quick. This is my upcoming pending deposit for SNAP EBT for November. If you are laughing at me right now because you think that I'm going to suffer come November, you better think again. I know how to work the system into my favor. I know how to get what I want.
Why would you put this online if true?
I have multiple sources of income, and that's where a lot of you go wrong. You rely on one source of income. But if you had multiple, if something like this were to happen where EBT gets shut down, you still have your other sources of income. But regardless, I'm still gonna get my EBT money for November. I don't know about the rest of y'all, but I'm gonna get mine, and that's that. Love you.
What a cunt. What a cunt. There's this page about the White House that I thought was really neat. And there's East Wing expansion stages, because apparently a lot of people are really angry that Trump is expanding the East Wing, even though lots of presidents have torn down and rebuilt parts of the White House over time. So you start at step one, the inspiration. For 150 years, presidents, administrations, and White House staff have longed for a large event space on the White House complex that can hold substantially more guests than currently allowed. You have the planning. The planning of it here. The White House State Ballroom will be a much needed and exquisite addition. You secured the funding. President Trump and other patriot donors have generously committed to donating the funds necessary to build this approximately $250 million structure. The United States Secret Service will provide the necessary security enhancements and modifications. They picked an architect. The construction has commenced. There's progression on it. Make sure to check back here for completed phases of renovation. And then completion. And then there's like a little historical event timeline. 1791 to 1800, the original design plans for the White House commenced. In 1814 to 1824, the White House had to be completely rebuilt after it was burnt down in the War of 1812 by the British. Fuck you guys, only we can burn down our cities. Atlanta, I'm looking at you. In 1824, President James Monroe took residence in the newly constructed White House following its destruction by the British forces in 1814. During his administration, the iconic South Portico was completed by 1824. In 1829 to 1830, the addition of the North Portico by Andrew Jackson. In 1902, President Theodore Roosevelt built the West Wing, replacing the 19th century greenhouses, and added a colonial garden and East Terrace, later part of the East Wing. In 1909, President William Howard Taft remodeled and expanded the West Wing, which included construction of the first Oval Office. I didn't realize the Oval Office was so young. I just assumed that was like always part of the White House, man. In 1913, under President Woodrow Wilson's administration, First Lady Ellen Wilson oversaw the transformation of the colonial garden into the modern Rose Garden, creating a more formalized and elegant outdoor space. In 1934 to 1942, Franklin D. Roosevelt expanded the West Wing in 1934, added a second floor, a basement, a swimming pool, and relocated the Oval Office. In 1942, he constructed the East Wing for additional staff and wartime security, including a bomb shelter. 1948 to 1952, Harry Truman undertook a total reconstruction of the White House's interior, expanding its foundation and footprint, preserving only its exterior walls. The Truman balcony provided the first family with a private outdoor space and enhanced the building's aesthetics. In 1970 to 1973, the addition of a briefing room. President Nixon converted the swimming pool into the press briefing room and added a bowling alley in the basement. I think we've talked about before how the press briefing room was just like built on top of the old swimming pool. It's kind of funny. In 1998, it was the Bill Clinton scandal. I don't know what that has to do with construction, but let's fucking go, brother. President Bill Clinton's affair with intern Monica Lewinsky was exposed, leading to White House perjury investigations. The Oval Office trysts fueled impeachment for obstruction. In 2012, Obama hosts members of the Muslim Brotherhood, a group that promotes Islamist extremism and has ties to Hamas. The Muslim Brotherhood is a designated terrorist organization by nearly a dozen nations. Also, fun fact, not only are they classified as a terrorist organization, but they're also classified as a cult. And there is an episode of Cults and Extreme Beliefs on people who have escaped the Muslim Brotherhood. In 2020, First Lady Melania Trump oversaw the privately funded construction of a 1,200 square foot tennis pavilion on the South Lawn, featuring a neoclassical design with a copper roof and limestone cladding. The elegant structure unifies the tennis court, children's garden, and kitchen garden, enhancing recreational opportunities for the first families. Oh, that's so weird. We're back to construction now. Okay, all right. In 2023, during Biden's administration, a U.S. Secret Service agent discovered a small zippered plastic bag containing cocaine in the West Wing entrance lobby. Was that part of the architect's plans, or was that there by accident? Like, how does this fit into the building timeline? Speculation has pointed to Hunter Biden, an admitted drug user. Additional evidence includes a laptop seized in 2019, which contains photos of frequent drug use alongside emails about foreign business dealings, Ukraine and China, involving his father Joe while he was vice president. That's really interesting. I don't think I'd hire that construction company again. I'm going to be real with you. 2023 to 2024, the Trans Day of Visibility. The Biden-Harris administration hosts transsexuals at the White House in 2023 and goes on to establish the Transgender Day of Visibility on the same day as Easter Sunday in 2024. And I'm glad that they decided to include the picture of that crazy fucking psycho deciding to take their top off and let their fake tits out on the White House lawn. Because what else screams, this is for the presidency and this is what should happen at the White House, than taking your tits out? In 2025, the North and South flagpoles. In June 2025, President Donald Trump personally funded the installation of two 88-foot flagpoles on the North and South lawns of the White House. 88-foot flagpoles? What did he mean by this? Oh! I could just imagine people fucking freaking out about this. The flagpoles, designed to display large American flags, enhance the patriotic atmosphere of the White House grounds. A ceremonial flag-raising event on June 18th marked their completion, with Trump saluting as the Stars and Stripes were hoisted, all privately funded at no cost to taxpayers. 2025 Rose Garden renovations. In August 2025, President Trump completed a $2 million Rose Garden renovation funded through the generosity of private citizens, replacing the lawn with beautiful limestone tiles inspired by Mar-a-Lago. The design enhances event functionality by preventing soggy ground and preserves historic rose bushes. President Trump hosted the inaugural Rose Garden Club dinner for Republican lawmakers, and the renovated space continues to serve as a venue for events. Also in 2025, it's all going to be 2025 from here on out, obviously. Oval Office renovations. In March 2025, President Donald Trump initiated a privately funded renovation of the Oval Office, incorporating gold filigree, historic portraits, and custom carvings inspired by his Mar-a-Lago estate. Completed by August 2025, the updates enhanced the room's aesthetic with elegant gold-accented decor, creating a refined setting for high-level meetings and showcasing America as the greatest nation in history. And finally, the current thing everyone's complaining about, the East Wing renovation, started in September 2025, will add a 90,000 square foot ballroom for 1,000 guests, enhancing state visit capabilities funded once again through the generosity of private citizens, corporations, and donors, including President Trump himself. The $250 million project includes modernized offices and bulletproof glass, upgrading the historic 1902 structure while preserving the main residence. I really thought it was incredibly funny that he added some of these fucking non-construction things to the timeline. That is advanced trolling here. This is on the official whitehouse.gov site, by the way. Finally, room for your balls. True. Will the next Democrat president demolish the ballroom after taking office? I have a feeling if we get a next Democrat president in any time soon, things are going to be very, very bad in a way where demolishing a ballroom will be the least of our worries. I hope you all stay safe, brothers, because that is a future I do not want to envision. A senior official in the Florida AG's office tells me initial results of their investigation into Harjinder Singh, the Indian illegal alien truck driver charged with killing 3 people in a crash in Florida in August, reveals Singh failed his CDL test 10 times. in a 2-month window between March 10th, 2023 and May 5th, 2023 in the state of Washington. And I keep saying this in the hopes that someone with the ability to do something will finally do something. We do not need to just charge and either deport or sentence people like this to the death penalty if they've killed people, right? But the companies that hire them and the companies and the people that also offer help with cheating the CDL tests all need to face massive repercussions. I'm talking like millions of dollars in fines for every company that hires these people. And if they fucking suffocate and crash and burn as a company under the weight of all of the fines from hiring these people, good. They should not have a bailout and they should fail. Additionally, I'm told Singh also failed his air brakes knowledge test twice, and that the Washington company that provided Singh's behind-the-wheel CDL training attested he could speak English proficiently when he could not. The FLAG investigation is ongoing, and I'm told there's more to come. The Florida AG's office also sued California and Washington via the SCOTUS last week, asking the SCOTUS to prevent both states from issuing CDLs to illegal immigrants, and accusing both states of not complying with federal safety and immigration status requirements when issuing CDLs. And I think this is kind of wild that, like, one state has to sue the other states to make the other states actually follow the law. And this is why it's like, when people say we don't need new laws or we don't need to do anything, we just need to enforce the ones on the books, like, yeah, sure. But when we've gotten to the point where a state is having to sue other states to make sure they actually follow the law as it is written, I think we are way past the point of just enforce the laws on the book. The 21-year-old semi-truck driver responsible for the 8-vehicle crash that left 3 deceased and 4 injured has been identified. Jashanpreet Singh, whose mugshot is not available in the San Bernardino County Sheriff's Department database, has been placed under arrest for driving under the influence of drugs and vehicular manslaughter. And it says here, Jashanpreet Singh, 21, black eyes, as you know, California highway, housing facility, visiting, inmate mailing, projected release, not here. Release notification. Victims and other concerned citizens can register to be notified when an offender's custody changes by phone, email, whatever, blah, blah, blah. Down here, the charges: DUI, drug, cause of bodily injury, and vehicular manslaughter while intoxicated. Interesting. And it's really getting annoying how many crashes are happening because people who shouldn't be licensed in our country are given licenses because our government is not real. It's just not real. And also, that recent crash from another illegal immigrant, he was living in San Bernardino. This is also out of San Bernardino. What the fuck is going on in San Bernardino?
We just don't know.
Question mark. Cargo theft investigation leads to the arrest of multiple suspects and results in federal indictments. And the name of people involved in this, we have Paramveer Singh of Rancho Cucamonga, Sandeep Singh of San Bernardino, Mandeep Singh of Bakersfield, Ranjad Singh of Bakersfield, Gurnaik Singh Chownin of Fortuna, Harpreet Singh of Rancho Cucamonga, Elgar Hernandez, finally someone different, of Fontana, Arshpreet Singh of Sacramento, Vikramjeet Singh of Fontana, Himat Singh Khalsa of Renton, Washington, and Narayan Singh of Fontana. Man, I feel like when that one fucking disingenuous guy decided to attack the Indian storekeeper on fucking The Simpsons, he just broke the fabric of reality. Like, everyone had such a positive view of Indian immigrants, and then he bitched about the voice actor, and then they changed the voice actor, and it's just been one gut punch after another for the Indians since then, you know? No, Kier, you can't see the pattern. It's all that one guy's fault. 12 accused in Singh Organization scheme to pose as a legitimate trucking company is to steal millions in cargo. A dozen people were named in connection with a federal indictment exposing a wide-ranging cargo theft operation in California, the San Bernardino County Sheriff's Department announced. In October 21st, 2025, the SPCSD announced that a cargo theft investigation had resulted in several arrests and federal indictments on charges including conspiracy to commit wire fraud, conspiracy to commit theft from interstate or foreign shipments, and criminal forfeiture. The cargo theft investigation centered on a group referred to by police as the Singh Organization. I wonder why. Officials said that between March 2021 and June 2025, members of the Singh Organization acquired or fraudulently used legitimate trucking companies to bid on authentic shipping contracts. Once they took possession of the freight, primarily electronics, appliances, and other high-value consumer goods, they diverted and stole the shipments instead of delivering them. The stolen cargo was later distributed through intermediaries or black market channels with an estimated loss in the millions of dollars. And here are all the Singhs and the one Hernandez. SBCSD was assisted in the investigation by the FBI Riverside Inland Violent Crime Suppression Task Force. That's a mouthful. The Riverside County Sheriff's Department, the Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department, the Fontana Police Department, California Highway Patrol, and several other law enforcement agencies. When are we going to say enough is enough? Like, I know we're all saying that, but like the actual politicians with the ability to do something about this, when is it going to be enough for them to actually take action instead of just twiddling their fingers and shit posting on Twitter? The shit posting on Twitter is funny, don't get me wrong, but like, I want to see something actually be fucking done about this, right? This is wild to me. The theft of the Napoleonic treasures in the Louvre, I can never pronounce that, the Louvre, followed a change in the display cases in 2019. Before then, the Rococo display cases had armored glass, and if disturbed, the treasures would drop into a safe. They were later replaced by modern displays with normal glass. And I think that's really silly, because obviously these display cases were meant to display the royal jewels. They are ornate and decadent, as you would expect from a display of that kind. Why would you replace it with this kind of boring-ass, ridiculous nonsense? It looks out of... Look at the fucking ceiling, man! Look at the fucking ceiling! Why would you just have wood box? Oh, I know. DEI. They wanted to make the treasures more accessible. Paris's Louvre Museum to undergo a major overhaul to shake off elite image. The Louvre Museum hopes to transform itself and shake off its intimidating image before the Paris Olympics in 4 years' time. This was written in 2020. If my, European heritage art is intimidating to you, good. Fucking either suck it up and suck up the culture in your brain, or get out. We shouldn't have to make our art from history more friendly. The Louvre, the world's most visited museum, is working on a major overhaul of how its vast collections are presented and explained, Jean-Luc Martinez told reporters. We need to be ready in 2023-2024 for the Olympic Games with longer hours and more rooms open. To counter its elitist image, the museum will strive for a cultural democratization to make its treasures more accessible with improved presentation, labeling, and curating. Art is already accessible to anyone who wants to go and ponder it. It's not, you don't need DEI to make art looking more accessible to non-Europeans. That's fucking crazy to me. That's fucking crazy. Notre Dame burned, the Louvre looted, they can't protect their borders, their women, or children. France is not a real country. And I hope the actual French take their country back. I almost glow posted a bit too hard. Martinez, who comes from a working class background, said he wanted to build on the outreach success of the Louvre's Outpost Museum in Lens, a poor former mining town in northern France. He said sometimes the former royal palace in the heart of Paris can intimidate certain demographics, and the museum needs to reassure people that its collections are also for them. Why does my historical art have to reassure non-Europeans that the collections are also for them? Like, when I go to, another country, if I go to that country's museum, I'm not gonna be like, this Japanese museum full with Japanese culture and art is not very welcoming to me, a European foxwoman. I need to feel more welcomed. I need the Japanese to reassure me that their cultural history is for me as well. That's so fucking dumb. That's so fucking dumb. It doesn't belong to you. It's not your history. You're going there because you're interested in seeing something different. What the fuck does that even mean? This is upsetting to an nth degree. And in their desire to be more accessible, yeah, you're goddamn right it was more accessible. It got fucking looted. Holy shit, you dumb cunts. Traffic on the museum's website has jumped tenfold, Martinez said, adding that the site will be completely overhauled next year, with all collections going online. There'll be more storytelling and scene setting in both French and English. Visitors under age 26 already have free access to the Louvre, but Martinez is introducing a free 20-minute mini visit this summer in an attempt to lure Parisians back inside. I've got a question. I've got a question. While your country is under siege by economic migrants seeking to take advantage of your country being incredibly liberal and giving out free shit, why are you giving free visits to anyone under the age of 26, especially when that is like the median war fighting age of a lot of the migrants who have been coming to your country? This is just like asking to be looted. What is this? I can't even make the only thing the French know how to do is surrender their shit joke, because the guy's last name is fucking Martinez. I was like, what is going on here? The museum, which reopens after the lockdown on July 6th, wants to attract more French visitors after losing more than 40 million euros at the box office since coronavirus struck. 3/4 of the Louvre's visitors are from abroad, with tourism at a standstill. We're losing 80% of our public. The next 3 years are likely to be less than spectacular, he predicted. We're going to be, at best, 20 to 30% down on last summer. And this was the most up-to-date I could find on the heist. Traces of DNA recovered in a helmet, glove left behind by the Louvre jewel heist suspects. In what could be the first major break in the investigation of the $102 million jewel heist at the Louvre Museum, police have found traces of DNA on items the thieves left behind in their hasty getaway, French authorities told ABC. The DNA, which investigators are analyzing and hope will lead to the identity of the brazen thieves, was found in one of the helmets and one of the gloves the thieves used in the robbery, French police in charge of the heist investigation told ABC News. The development came as the director of the Louvre took the hot seat on Wednesday, telling lawmakers she submitted her resignation following Sunday's daylight robbery from the museum's ornate Apollo Gallery. Well, that's good. That's good. At least she's resigning. But I feel like you need to remove those inclusive display cases and bring back the intimidating ones that fucking belonged there and did a good job. Appearing in front of France's Senate Culture Committee for 2 hours, Laurence Descartes, the president and director of the Louvre, said her resignation was rejected. It's like they know that putting a woman in a position of power is the fastest way to make things go sour, dude. Last Sunday, after acknowledging the consequences of the terrible attack we had just suffered, I submitted my resignation to the Minister of Culture. She refused it, Descartes said. Oh, it's another she. Well, amid mounting criticism over the colossal lapse in security at one of the world's most famous museums, Descartes conceded, "We have been defeated. It's through your own lack of brain cells that you've been defeated." You literally said, we have this impervious case protecting these culturally historic jewels. Let's get rid of that and bring in something that can be easily cracked into. Why would you ever do that? No amount of people crying on TV that make you say, let's get rid of the rule of law and borders and shit, should ever make you say, let's make these historical, cultural jewels less safe. What the fuck is wrong with people? This tragedy deeply shocked museum staff, fellow citizens, and admirers of the Louvre around the world, said Descartes, reading an opening statement. This is an immense wound that has been inflicted on us. Could you really not see it coming? Are you really shocked by this? Notre Dame was set on fire and you're shocked that people would steal from the Louvre? I'm taking crazy pill. Put me in charge of this museum, dude. I'm a retarded cartoon fox and I could do a better job. Descartes added, this theft hurts our institution. Descartes said all of the museum's alarms worked, as did its video cameras, but noted a quote-unquote weakness in security. Perpetuated by you guys several years ago! What the fuck? The weakness of the Louvre in its perimeter security, which has been a problem for a long time, certainly due to underinvestment, Descartes told the lawmakers. Even if you had security outside, they could easily break into those new fucking cases. Why change them, man? She said a grand Louvre renovation project began 40 years ago and has only affected half of the museum. We did not spot the criminals arriving from outside early enough. She said the only camera installed outside the Apollo Gallery was facing west and did not cover the window where the thieves used power tools to break in. So you had the money to replace the bulletproof glass and safe activation display cases with DEI-inspired, let's make them feel welcome, useless display cases, but you didn't have the money to put up additional security cameras. How fucking dumb do you think people are? Never mind, there's going to be people who don't think about that at all. The security system, as installed in the Apollo Gallery, worked perfectly, Descartes said. The question that arises is how to adapt the system to a new type of attack and modus operandi that we could not have foreseen. Put the display cases back. Descartes also said the fortified glass cases that held the stolen jewels from the collection of Emperor Napoleon and his wives were not broken, but were cracked. Put the old cases back, brother! What the fuck are you doing? The thieves tried to sneak their hands in, but the glass actually held, Descartes said. The high-quality display cases were designed to withstand attacks with weapons and to withstand the heavy materials used during last Sunday's incident. Put the old cases back! I don't understand! She said one of the bedazzling royal crowns the thieves tried to take, the Empress Eugenie crown, was crushed when the robbers tried to pass it through the crack in the glass. Police found the damaged crown, which is made of gold and more than 1,300 diamonds, on the ground outside the museum in the immediate aftermath of the heist. She said police handed over the crown to the Louvre on Tuesday. It appears that repairing it will be delicate, but possible. Despite touting the security system within the Louvre as working properly, Descartes added, "Today we are witnessing a terrible failure at the Louvre. The security of the Louvre is one of my top priorities during my term in office, and I repeat that I was appalled by the museum's security situation when I arrived in 2021. Okay, so at least this woman arrived after the DEI-ification of all of the fucking display cases. But I don't know why she wouldn't just be like, this was really stupid, we're gonna put them back. Descartes said the 232-year-old museum's aging infrastructure has hindered the installation of modern equipment. She said one way to improve security would be to place a police station within the museum. I would like to ask the Department of the Interior to look into whether it would be feasible to set up a police station within the museum. Paris public prosecutor Laurie Becquow announced on Tuesday that the gems are estimated to be worth $102 million. I feel like that's lowballing, man. A large crowd of visitors was lined up when most of the Louvre reopened at 9 a.m. Wednesday. The Apollo Gallery, still considered a crime scene, remained temporarily closed, according to the Louvre's website. In an interview with the French radio network RTL, Becquow called the figure spectacular, but said it was nothing compared to the historical loss caused by the theft. We can maybe hope that the perpetrators think about it and won't destroy those jewels for no reason. I am not a betting person, but I would put money on the fact that the people who stole these jewels are not native French, and they do not care about French history. They only care about the money they can make off of selling things that are important to people that they care nothing about. So, I guess I'll have to eat some crow if it turns out to be native French, but I have a feeling it's probably not, based on all the other things that have happened in France in the past couple of years. And when you invite people into your country that have no business being there, and you just say open borders, we're not going to do many background checks, who the fuck cares? When you invite these people who hate you, hate your history, hate your culture, hate your people, why would you expect them to respect anything that you put importance on? It doesn't make sense. Doesn't make sense. Hundreds of police officers are a part of the ongoing investigation in the Louvre heist. There are 4 main suspects in the ongoing investigation, but it's possible there were other accomplices. A nationwide manhunt for the Louvre thieves has been in high gear since the theft on Sunday. French President Emmanuel Macron vowed that authorities would catch those responsible for the attack on a heritage that we cherish because it is our history. And do what? Give them a Medal of Honor? Like, what the fuck is Macron gonna do? The thieves went directly to 2 displays, breaking them and taking a significant amount of loot. French Culture Minister Rachida Dati told ABC News. They knew exactly where they were going, Dati said. It looks like something very organized and very professional. Dati said the evidence collected so far points to organized crime, but added that investigators have not ruled out that the heist could have been an inside job. That would be very interesting if it was an inside job and they had people like working at the Louvre give them information. That'd be very interesting to note, actually. I saw a Brianna Morello person here, independent journalist, 10 years in the mainstream, said, ICE arrested 9 criminal illegal aliens on Canal Street yesterday. Here are some of the aliens that were arrested. Mamadou Ndoye, a criminal illegal alien from Mali, issued a final order of removal by an immigration judge in 2008 was previously arrested for crimes including assault, recklessly endangering, counterfeiting third degree, unauthorized use of a motor vehicle, criminal sale of narcotics, possessing a controlled substance, possession of marijuana for sale, making false reports to law enforcement, and resisting arrest. Why the fuck is this thing still here? Mohamed Ndayi, a criminal illegal alien from Senegal with previous arrests for domestic violence, robbery, receiving stolen property, burglary, fraudulent accosting, forgery, counterfeiting, sale of a controlled substance, obstruction, and disorderly conduct. He entered the US on a B2 tourist visa that required him to depart in 1995. Idi Sar, a criminal illegal alien from Senegal, issued a final order of removal by an immigration judge in 2010 and previously arrested for obstruction, possession of forged instrument, counterfeiting, failure to disclose origin of recording, drug possession, and criminal possession of a controlled substance with intent to sell. And last but not least, Modou Mdap, a criminal illegal alien from Senegal, previously assaulted Mexican law enforcement as he entered the US in September 2023 in a caravan of 140 people at the southwest border and was released by the Biden administration into the country. Why? Why were any of these people allowed to be here? Why? How have any of these people since 2008, 1995, 2010, how have they been here for so fucking long? It's like the craziest indictment of how bad our judicial system has been. They're still trying to deport this one fucking criminal.
The Department of Homeland Security
because for some reason he's got like this entire stacked law team on his side, and DHS can't deport this fucking literal criminal because everyone keeps trying to protect him. Last I knew, they were gonna send him to like fucking Uganda or some shit, and now they're like, oh, Liberia has agreed to accept him. This is wild. We have to get rid of the illegals. They have to leave. And the obstruction of them, anyone who spends their time trying to keep criminals in this country should also face repercussions. It's insane how long it has taken for them to deport him and how people are trying to believe that this is just a case of like the Trump administration bullying some poor immigrant. And that's not the case. This isn't just like some run-of-the-mill immigrant guy. This is an illegal with ties to fucking gang violence. What the fuck is happening? The law is a farce. Lawyers and judges are a farce. Deport him by force anyways. What are they gonna do? Read a law book about it? And it's like, I wish they could be more heavy-handed. But unfortunately, if like the Democrats can spin optics in a certain way, there are going to be people dumb enough to believe it. As the Department of Homeland Security continues to seek the deportation of Kilmar, Abrego, Garcia, the agency said Friday it had identified a new country of removal that has agreed to accept the wrongly deported Salvador native. It's not wrongly deported, fuck you. The West African nation of Liberia. In a court notice filed Friday, Department of Justice attorneys said DHS has received diplomatic assurances regarding the treatment of third country individuals removed to Liberia from the United States and are making the final necessary arrangements for Abrego Garcia's removal. According to the notice, DHS expects to be able to effectuate removal as soon as October 31st. Abrego Garcia, who had been living in Maryland with his wife and children, was deported in March to El Salvador's Secot mega prison, despite a 2019 court order barring his deportation to that country due to fear of persecution. Personally, if you're part of a gang and you weren't fleeing that gang in order to get a whole bunch of that gang arrested, you shouldn't be able to claim fear of persecution by said gang that you were a part of. You shouldn't. You just shouldn't. That's crazy. I do not care, Margaret. Send them to fucking Antarctica for all you care. And it's like, I wish that to a degree Republicans would stop caring about the optics. And it's like, you have to care to a degree. Because once again, if the Democrats can just run lies and people believe the lies, then less people will vote for the Republican based on those lies that the Democrats tell. But it's like, I wish they would care a little bit less, because it's like, we need things to start happening. We have to stop all of this, like, hand-wringing and capitulation to people who have overtly said that they just want us dead. And it's a little insane, like, seeing all the rhetoric over the last few days, where, like, some young Republican group chat got fucking leaked, and, like, they were telling edgy jokes in the group chat, and a whole bunch of young Republican fucking shit all came out, and they were like, we condemn, this is horrible, and we don't stand behind. It's like, shut the fuck up. Shut the absolute fuck up. When there are people running for attorney general that are wishing death, that are saying that they would shoot their opponent over Hitler, when they're saying that they want to watch their opponent's children die in their wife's arms, like, you're getting angry about some fucking edgy jokes in a group chat? Where are your fucking priorities? You absolute spineless cucks. The Trump administration claimed he was a member of the criminal gang MS-13, which his family and attorneys deny. I love how when Trump showed the fucking tattoos that line up with the MS-13 imagery, people tried to say like, oh, that's altered. It's like, no shit, it's altered. He drew circles around the fucking tattoos. What do you mean? He was brought back to the US in June to face human smuggling charges in Tennessee, to which he has pleaded not guilty. I am also really tired of people in my country illegally being given the benefit of the laws of my country. If you've already broken one law, why would you ever be expected to adhere to any of the other ones? Like, why does he get a trial instead of just immediate deportation? I am tired of this. After being released into the custody of his brother in Maryland pending trial, he was again detained by immigration authorities and is currently being held in Pennsylvania, where the government has told his attorneys that it intends to deport him to a country other than El Salvador. U.S. District Judge Paula Zinnes, who has been overseeing Abrego Garcia's immigration case in Maryland, has currently banned the government from removing him from the United States. How does just a random U.S. district judge have the ability to do that to the federal government who wants to get a criminal illegal out of our fucking country? Like, I hate these people. Friday's notice comes after the DHS served Abrego Garcia a notice of removal to Ghana that the agency subsequently said was premature. Before that, DHS said it was planning to deport Abrego Garcia to Eswatini and Uganda. In response to Friday's DHS notice, Abrego Garcia's attorney said the government has chosen yet another path that feels designed to inflict maximum hardship. If I say what I am thinking, I will be banned. Having struck out with Uganda, Eswatini, and Ghana, ICE now seeks to deport our client Kilmar Abrego Garcia to Liberia, a country with which he has no connection, thousands of miles away from his family and home in Maryland. It's not his fucking home. He's here illegally. Fuck off. Simon Sandoval Motionberg told ABC News, Costa Rica has agreed to accept him as a refugee and remains a viable and lawful option. According to the DOJ, Liberia is a thriving democracy and is committed to the humane treatment of refugees. I remember when they first brought up Costa Rica, they were just like, this is not a vacation. He's not going to pick his country of favoritism to be deported to, which again would be fucking wild if they let him do that. Fear and anger fill New York's Canal Street after the immigration raid. The famous shopping strip, usually teeming with street vendors, turned quiet a day after federal agents descended. It is insane the level of propaganda levied by the media at people, trying to get you to feel bad for people who do nothing but break our laws. Why would you feel bad for them? They do not care about you. They do not care about your country. They do not care about your hardship. You are paying for the majority of these people. On a normal day, Canal Street in Lower Manhattan brims with licensed and unlicensed street vendors peddling purses, watches, sweatshirts, and all manner of tchotchkes. Wednesday was not a normal day. The strip had turned quiet. Most of the vendors were gone. Tourists had been asking where they were, some shopkeepers said. Do you know how much safer I would feel if all of the people peddling like fucking fake merch were just completely taken away? Like, that's crazy. You don't feel a shred of fucking empathy? Crazy, man. That's how it should be. A day earlier, more than 50 federal agents had descended on a stretch of the street that is famous for the African men and Chinese women who illegally sell bootleg luxury merchandise to tourists.
I have no photos, please. No photos. Everybody wave to the tourists. Wave to the tourists. Hello, tourists.
They have to go back. This is what I voted for. More ICE sweeps. Get them out. The Department of Homeland Security said on Wednesday that its agents had arrested 9 men accused of living in the United States illegally. The men, mostly from West Africa and some with prior arrests, of course they had prior arrests, were targeted. These are the prior arrests that I read over here. These long fucking rap sheets for just 4 of them. Just 4 of them. The men, mostly from West Africa and some with prior arrests, were targeted in an operation focused on criminal activity relating to selling counterfeit goods. The agents also arrested 4 protesters. How did protesters know that there was going to be an ICE raid on Canal Street? Who tipped them off? Police across New York City appeared on edge after the raid, seemingly bracing for the activation of President Trump's threat to deploy military personnel and immigration and customs enforcement agents to New York City. which he often cast as lawless and dangerous. He's correct. He's not wrong. And why would they be on edge? Fucking go in, sweep, arrest way more than 9 people. Deport them all. Mr. Trump has already moved to send troops to other Democratic-led cities: Chicago, Washington, Memphis, Los Angeles, and Portland, Oregon. And we covered some of the Chicago shenanigans before I went on vacation, where there were ICE agents literally getting rammed and shot at, and for some reason, the police were doing jack shit, and one of the women who had shot at ICE agents got shot in, like, the shoulder or something, and she was just able to drive herself to the hospital. Like, we are literally living in peak levels of clown world I never thought possible. On Wednesday evening, the depth of the anger over the raid was evident as several hundred demonstrators rallied at 26 Federal Plaza, the New York City headquarters of ICE. Lifting placards and their voices, the demonstrators chanted, "Vendor power." I hate these people. I hate these people so fucking much. The ones who want to keep criminals on the streets, the ones who want to keep illegal aliens in our country. It is not a human right to have access to American capital. That is insane. It is insane that people just see working Americans as like a treadmill to create money for them. The demonstrators marched north from Foley Square to Canal Street, filling about 5 blocks as they walked, before turning onto Broadway. One woman climbed on a police car in front of the Manhattan Criminal Courthouse. "It's important to be here," said Philip Clay, 45, an English tutor and visual artist from Queens, so a useless individual, who was demonstrating no ICE. Earlier, Bethany Lee, the executive director of a civil rights organization, said that many people in and around Chinatown felt afraid but ready to resist. Her organization, the Asian American Legal Defense and Education Fund, is blocks from where the raid took place. People have been scared by the fact that the federal government is coming in and harming and threatening residents in immigrant neighborhoods, Mrs. Lee said. But then I think there's also this mood of defiance. It's like, no, ICE can't come in and terrorize our communities in this way. Not in New York. I got some news for you. If you're in this country illegally, you don't have a community. You can get the fuck out. That's what you have. Some vendors who lingered on Wednesday condemned the raid as demeaning and racist. You know, I was just thinking it's really funny that it just so happens the majority of illegals are non-European and so therefore non-white. And so they always try to take this in like a racist angle where it's like, if you're against illegal immigration, you are therefore somehow racist. And it's like, if you found me like an illegal immigrant from Britain or Ireland or France or Australia, if you found me one of these illegals, I would want them to get the fuck out just as much. You can come back the right way, brother. Don't break the fucking law. Get out. Go home. Get the British out. ICE can go wherever the fuck they want. I wish that were true, and it should be true in a working reality, but it seems like every time ICE tries doing their job, all of the fucking leftists in power do everything they can to stop them. Kalebon, thank you for the 10-month resub, my guy. Thank you. Especially if they're French. How many white people pass here, said Mohammed Torre, 46. All of them have papers. No. Then get them out too. I don't care what your skin color is. I don't care what flavor of race you are. If you are in America illegally, get the fuck out. It's as simple as that. Mr. Torre said he was stopped by federal officers on Tuesday afternoon and asked for his papers. Oh, how sad. Oh, how terrible. If I was asked for my papers, I'd be like, what, you couldn't tell because of my Boston accent, brother? And then just give him my papers. Like, fuck it. What is this? Papers, please. Yeah, we need to start running America the way that I played Papers, Please. The one fucking time I said yes to someone not from my country, they committed a terror attack. It's fucking crazy. We need a little bit of respect, too, he said, adding that agents were going up only to black vendors. Well, first of all, I just don't believe you. I don't believe you unless there were only black vendors on that street. It's just like, what are you trying to say? Like, there are plenty of black people who are native to the U.S. Not like native, but like they've lived here for generations, is what I mean. That wouldn't make any sense to only go up to black people for deportation. That's silly. That's crazy. The Department of Homeland Security sent a tweet Wednesday hailing the raid. Everyone does not, in fact, like counterfeit products being sold, nor do they like violent illegal aliens, the agency's tweet said. Earlier in the day, Todd Lyons, the acting director of ICE, had defended the raid during an interview on Fox News and promised an increase in arrests. Good. We need millions. I know you guys are like touting your hundreds of thousands of deportations. I can't remember the number off the top of my head, but we need millions. We need more ICE raid. In New York City, elected officials and human rights advocates denounced Tuesday's sweep. You know, if human rights advocates actually cared about anyone, they would be advocating for ICE sweeps. Because getting rid of illegal criminals increases the safety of everyone living there, both American citizens and immigrants who are here either for work or for study or for becoming an American citizen, whatever the fuck is happening. It makes things safer for them. Let's pump those numbies.
I gotta pump those numbers up. Those are rookie numbers in this racket.
The New York Attorney General, Letitia James, announced that she had launched an online portal to collect photos and videos of ICE officials to determine whether they were breaking the law during enforcement actions. You cannot hate these people enough. For generations, Canal Street has been a gathering point for merchants of Asian descent, especially those from China. But when migrants began to arrive in New York City by the tens of thousands 3 years ago under former President Joseph R. Biden Jr., I have never seen his full name spelled out like that. What the hell? West African vendors flocked to the area to sell their wares. Andrew Wolf, an assistant professor of global labor and work at Cornell University, who researches street vending. This also sounds like a not real degree and a not real section of study. What the fuck? Said that it is common for ethnic groups to specialize in certain industries after the first arrivals gain a foothold and began to channel in newcomers. Is this guy secretly proving the once Indians get in a company, they only hire their own kind of thing, but said in a very vague way? That's interesting. There's the one person actually making money in the community, and then the other people come. He noted that the police department regularly conducts operations in the neighborhood, arresting vendors and confiscating their property. He said that the city's real estate, retail, and restaurant groups had lobbied to make it difficult for vendors to get licenses, making them a frequent target of law enforcement. But why would you want these vendors to make money selling counterfeit goods? Wouldn't you want to protect the consumers who live in that area from purchasing counterfeit goods to the point, like, I just don't get it. Police officers raided the Canal Street area in August 2023, focusing on Worcester and Lispenyard streets. They arrested 8 vendors, seizing millions of dollars in merchandise. In January, they conducted another sting, arresting several vendors and recovering suitcases and black trash bags filled with watches and other goods. Residents said that they were used to seeing police officers, not federal agents, arresting vendors. Shouldn't they be happy then? They're just like, oh yeah, we're used to seeing the police officers, but nothing really changes. Now it's federal officers. Shouldn't that be a relief? What the fuck? This is definitely not normal, said Barrett McGuire, a building superintendent in Tribeca. Mr. McGuire has walked down Canal Street since the 1980s, encountering sellers hawking fake designer bags and sunglasses. Shouldn't that be a huge indictment of the area? If they've been allowed to sell counterfeit goods since the fucking 80s, brother. Jean-Claude and Aurore Cissant, visiting New York on their honeymoon from Toulouse, France, were in a double-decker tourist bus that had rumbled along Canal Street days before the raid. They saw the street teeming with vendors, their wares displayed on sheets and in little carts. They have to live, you know, Mr. Cissant said. They're not really bothering anyone. Yeah, I don't want to see illegal immigrants littering my street with counterfeit goods and bothering people to buy said counterfeit goods. I guess if you live in France, they might not bother you because you're used to your streets being filled with trash, but like, holy shit, dude. What a horrible way to view things. Miss Cissant said that they had seen vendors like them in Rome and Paris, and she viewed them as part of the charm. Chat, how was I so correct about them being used to trash on the streets? Holy fuck! I cannot believe these people are real. Jesus Christ. Jack Chen, a historian who studies New York's Chinatown, said that the raid had paralyzed activity in a part of the city where Chinese immigrants had worked for decades to build a home. Mr. Chen said that the raid followed a pattern of discrimination against people of Chinese descent in America. These people are fighting for the oppression Olympics so fucking hard. Literally earlier in this article, a guy was complaining that the immigration raids were only targeting black people, and now this guy's like, this is discrimination against the Chinese. If they're targeting multiple ethnicities, that's not discrimination. What the fuck, brother? What the fuck? buy my Temu plastic Eiffel Tower for 20 times what I bought it for, and while you're distracted talking to the guy with the plastic Eiffel Tower, another vendor comes and steals your wallet? Anti-Chinese attitudes have been in this country for a long time, said Mr. Chen, whose work focuses on what he describes as anti-racist and anti-colonialist stories. Right, so he's just a fucking Marxist, probably affiliated with the CCP. Way to go. Whereas oftentimes Chinese-made goods were very welcomed. I've seen Empire of Dust. You can't lie to me. The elites, you know, porcelain, silks, furniture, and cheap stuff, fortune cookies. Man's talking porcelain and silk like we're in the 1700s. What is happening? Everything has been readily consumed in the American commercial culture. Yeah, you know, I love silk, but you know, when I look for silk, if I see it have a Chinese company name on it, I'm like, is this real silk? I don't know anymore. Am I gonna get a real silk product? I don't know anymore. Take me back to the 1700s where I can buy your real silk in trade for some spices or some shit. Though street vendors have sometimes irritated shopkeepers because they block doorstops and create a crowded environment, they can also bring in more business. Some competitors lamented their absence. Yeah, if I owned a shop and I had fucking these counterfeit illegal street vendors trying to hawk goods outside of my shop, I'd also be pissed. I can't imagine them actually bringing in more business because I'd be like, I don't know if I want to step through these two illegal people selling fake goods in order to get to this one shop in the middle of them, you know? It's like, there's nobody out here, said Awa Nagam, who has been selling sweatshirts and t-shirts with a license at Canal and Lafayette Streets for more than a decade, and who has seen West African vendors there for years. I don't like it today. You have less competition. Why wouldn't you like it? And you have a license. You're not doing it illegally. What the fuck? Why wouldn't you like it? And to cap this crazy story off, there's this person. Their bio says Flat Earth 11.4, so I'm hoping that this is a shitpost account. I'm very hoping it's a shitpost account, but they say Canal Street today, after ICE swept through with DHS, the FBI and the IRS arrested everyone. I don't think the IRS was there. And launched an investigation into counterfeit trading. These markets are as old as Chinatown and are tolerated because they're a massive boon for tourism and everyone likes them. If your massive boon for tourism is selling counterfeit goods, that's not a real boon. You are thriving on taking advantage of people. I've pushed a double-sized stroller through the market and peak hours, and it's not a big deal. I think we can all agree this sucks, and that, on principle, some chopped right-wing e-girl who literally lives in Texas should not get to tell us how to run the city. Well, to be fair, I don't live in Texas, so I live in an unknown location at current time. But, you know... I don't know who they're talking about, but they're fucking crazy. And even if this is a satire account, the whole, like, they're a massive boon for tourism and everyone likes them is literally echoed in this New York Times article. So it is once again impossible to tell satire from real opinion from these crazy fucking people again.